Hey guys, today's subscriber shoutout goes to 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕕. Thank you for subscribing and being a subscriber. And today's commenter shoutout goes to 𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬𝕬. Thank you for commenting and watching my videos. Now let's get into the video. So today I'm going to be telling you guys the cons of having a color code. I was going to do the pros and cons, but I actually couldn't think of any pros besides the fact that they just look nice. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. One of the things about color codes is it can be so hard to find a unique one sometimes. I feel like color codes are one of the things that make you unique and helps people recognize you. But it really can be so difficult to find a color code that you don't really see anyone else wearing. I remember when I got my color code, I chose it because I had never really seen anyone else with it, and I also felt like it fit me really well. But that can be really hard to do because a lot of people on this game have color codes. So it's kind of rare to find a color code that you've never really seen anyone else wearing. And I also feel like it's even more frustrating when people copy your color code. I mean, I know it's just a color code, but it can still be annoying because that's your color code that makes you unique. I know that's happened to me before, and it is kind of annoying sometimes. But after all, it's just a color code. Another thing that can be annoying with color codes is trying to trade people. Like, I literally cannot trade anyone because every single one of my items is my color code. And I don't really want anything anyone has to give me unless it's colorable because then I can color it my color code. So it's pretty safe to say that color codes do affect your trading a lot. So if you enjoy trading on Woozworld, I don't think a color code is the right thing for you. Because I've had my color code since 2018, so almost 4 years. And I haven't really traded anyone at all since then, so yeah. Another thing about color codes is they can be pretty hard to afford because they can be really expensive, especially depending on the items that you want. Because if you have a color code, everything you are buying is going to have to be colorable, so that you can color your color code. But that is unless you have the new recolor tokens that just came out not that long ago. But if you aren't allowed to buy things on Woozworld and you can't buy the recolor tokens, you might have a hard time with that. Because a lot of colorable stuff is really expensive. It's more expensive than the stuff that's already colored. But I mean, you could do the same thing I did when I got my color code. When I made my color code, I literally sold every single thing I had that wasn't colorable, and then with the beaks I got, I bought colorables so that I could color them my color code. Sometimes you also might get a lot of people asking you what your color code is. And I know for some people they have no problem giving their color code out, but for other people they want to keep their color code to themselves. Which I can understand both sides, so if you wouldn't like people asking you that all the time, then I would not recommend getting a color code because it can be annoying. I know it is just a color code, but everyone has different thoughts and opinions on them. In my opinion, I don't think color codes should be taken that seriously. I mean, after all, they're literally just like the color of your clothes and hair. But at the same time, I can understand why people wouldn't want to give their color code out because it's just unique to you, I guess. Unless you're using a very popular color code that a bunch of people are using. I know this one has happened to me and it is honestly so stressful. After you get a color code and you have a bunch of items that are all your color code, you might have second thoughts about it. You might start thinking your color code is ugly. You might start wanting a different color code because you got bored of your current one. You might have seen people with a prettier color code. And then it's so stressful because then you really have to think about if you really want to change it. Because if you want to change your color code, it's going to take so much work. You are going to have to get rid of all of your clothes or items that are your color code, whether you're just recycling them, giving them away for free, or selling them. And then you're going to have to buy so much stuff all over again. And there's just like so many things you have to think about if you want a new color code. And honestly, it takes so much work. Like I said earlier, I have had second thoughts about my color code, and I was wondering if I should change it one time. But luckily I didn't, because I realized that I still do like my color code. There is a chance that you will have a color code and then you will run into someone who has the exact same color code and then they get mad at you for copying their color code. Or maybe even the other way around, you get mad at them for copying or having the same color code as you. Because then that just causes unnecessary fights and drama all over a color code. And no one really likes that. So yeah, if you are planning on getting a color code, you might want to take that into consideration. If you enjoy playing theme games, you might want to hear this one. I don't know if people still do this, but sometimes when I would go to a theme game a few years ago, sometimes the theme would be the color of the tile, which absolutely isn't fair at all if you have a color code unless your tile is the exact same color as your color code. Because then there's not really anything you can do. And I remember when that would happen to me, I wouldn't even try because all of my clothes were my color code and the color of the tile would be like blue or something and I wouldn't have any blue clothing, so I would just kind of lose the match. If you have a friend that has a popular color code and you run into someone else who has the same color code, you might get them confused and mixed up thinking that the random person is your friend when it really isn't. And that can just cause an awkward situation that is confusing for everyone involved. If you're anything like me, you might have this problem. If your entire inventory is your color code, you will probably have a hard time trying to sell stuff since your whole inventory is your color code. And it might be hard to find clothes or get clothes that aren't your color code so you can sell them. It always takes me so long to find stuff to sell. I always have to like host games to get stuff. Otherwise, I would just be selling a bunch of stuff that was my color code. For some reason, there are people who think they literally own a color code, or they think they made or came up with a color code. And if they see you wearing the same color code as them, they will probably go off on you and attack you because you stole their color code. Listen, you cannot own a color. Neither can you create a color. You cannot create a color. There is no such thing. It is literally impossible to create a whole color yourself. That's not how the world works. You can't create a color. These were the best cons of having a color code that me and my friends could come up with. If you have any stories about your color code or anything you want to share, please let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys so much, and goodbye.